Hello everybody, it's me, the teddy bear. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my lovely teddy bear face. So, we are going to be talking about social repose today. Social repose is obviously quite disliked at the minute, and yeah, definitely for good reason. We're basically going to be taking a look at some of his new content, some of his new music, and we're going to be looking at why it's all just so vapid and pointless. First off, we're going to be taking a look at a video called My Problem with Crank That Frank. In this, he is doing what Onision does best, and he's alienating his friends, his very small amount of friends. It's interesting that there is a very similar trend. Social Repose is someone that has made several videos critiquing Onision for things that he is now doing himself. This basically includes talking about how much of a sociopath Onision is, where Social Repose has very similar personality traits to Onision. I won't go as far as saying he's a sociopath, but those kind of traits. Along with Onision, Social Repose has done a good job of destroying his channel and alienating his friends, and now he's making content on those friends, critiquing them, so he's just pushing everyone further and further away. Now, what is my issue with this video and Crank That Frank? The thing is, I don't know much about Crank That Frank, but I do know that he's someone that's not worth critiquing, not worth making a nearly 20-minute video talking about him. I think, I don't know, maybe he's just a little salty, so he thought, hey, this would be a great idea. If I try and gain back relevancy by talking about someone that's currently more popular than me, that'll work, right? Worked for Onision, did it? No, it goddamn didn't. Alright. Now, my main problems with this video are, as I say, it's unnecessary to have made it. The points he brings up in the video are absolutely pointless. At the start of the video, he says, "Have we got a spicy one for you today?" And then, as he's about to mention these things, it's like, he's explaining how bad it's going to be, and I'm like, oh god, what has this guy done? And then it's like, his videos are too long, subjectively. He has adverts in them. It's like, what? Why have you done this? You're clearly trying to claw at relevancy in a way that is only going to push people further away from your channel. It's amazing. Let's take a look at the like ratio. 12,000 dislikes and only 1,000 likes. That is bad. To put that into perspective, that is many more dislikes than Onision gets on his videos. This is a trend we can see with Social Repose's channel. The dislikes are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So let's take a look at some of the comments on this to see what people think about Social Repose's idea of doing a video on Crank That Frank. Second comment down simply says, "You're disgusting, you made Frank and Eva cry." Further down we have, "Wow, Jake Paul looks like an angel next to you." Now, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I get what he's saying. We also have, "We found Shane's subject for his next series. Time to expose this idiot." Yes, it is. I'm right on it. Don't you worry about that, my friend. This one says, "Yo, WTF, I subscribe for covers and original songs, not Onision 2.0. You and Frank don't talk anymore because you cheated and he was disgusted. Stop accusing him." Yeah, it's ridiculous. We can see how unnecessary this video was. There are some comments down here that really do give a good example of what I'm talking about here. This one says, "This video isn't bullying, just my honest opinion on said YouTuber," is what Social Repose says. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, you actually think that throwing around stupid, unbelievable, childish accusations is an honest opinion? Because that's just wrong. Which, funny thing is, you should probably be used to people telling you you're wrong, but based on how ignorant and extremely disgusting this video is, we can tell that you didn't get that through your thick skull. So I'll say it again, just for good measure. That's just wrong. Also, let's get one thing straight, princess. Just because Frank is a grown man does not mean that this isn't bullying, because it is. You can bully someone of any age. Grow up, seriously. We all probably expect this from you, but that doesn't mean you should still do it. Just get help or something. Try and think about how this will impact people before you do something like this again. You make an Onision seem nice, wow, stop it, get some help. Stop it, get some help. So yeah, it's insane that someone of Social Repose's level, who is a disgusting cheater a manipulative sociopath. I'm not saying he's a sociopath, but he acts like one. For someone like him to be critiquing this guy on such minor things, it really blows my mind, and I'm not at all surprised that both these guys were very upset. So let's take a look at some little bits of this video to get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Today with another spicy video, and oh boy, we got one for you today.
So the intro of "Oh boy, have we got one for you today," it's like, oh, so this is going to be something really bad, is it? But it absolutely isn't. It's ridiculous. He then goes on to explain how Crank That Frank is a longtime friend of Social Repose, exactly the person you should be critiquing then.
Today's victim is Crank That Frank. He is a longtime bud of mine on YouTube. He was actually one of the first people I ever collabed with on this channel.
Yes or no?
And that he's collabed with him many a time. It's like, this is... Is this an Esion? Have I slipped onto an Esion's channel by accident? Because you're doing exactly what he does. Very, very clearly doing exactly what he does. He then goes on to explain criticisms that aren't valid, such as having adverts, having long videos. Obviously they're not valid, this is YouTube. And doing repetitive videos like try not to laugh challenges and that sort of thing. But it kind of feels like he's putting these in the video just to add to the problems that Crank That Frank might have. Even though they're not valid, he's still bringing them up in the video, and someone might think, oh, he does loads of the same videos, that's a bit of a problem. So I think it's really unnecessary to bring this kind of stuff up. Well, this is one of the most pointless videos I've ever seen on YouTube. It's just so unnecessary, and the impact it will have on this person is really dire. This is a 20-minute video. So, the first big criticism he has is relentless audience pandering.
The first thing I want to talk about, and arguably the biggest problem I have with this content, is his relentless audience pandering.
What? That's not really a big criticism though, is it? It just isn't. Pandering towards your audience, I don't see that as being that big of a problem. Some people just feel very grateful towards their audience, and I don't see what the problem is in making that clear to people. Obviously, you shouldn't do it in a manipulative way, but Social Repose doesn't even say that he does it in a manipulative way. So what is the point of bringing that up? I just don't get it. So the guy is thankful towards his fans. Jesus, what a problem! And according to Social Repose, this is the biggest problem. That he's pandering. The biggest problem is that he thanks his fans more often than most people. Jesus Christ. And it's the way he talks. We've got a spicy one for you. Oh, it's a big problem. He's clearly trying to imitate Filthy Frank, by the way.
With another spicy video, and oh boy,
he's clearly trying to be as edgy as possible, and he's trying to be a typical commentary YouTuber for whatever reason. He's making it out as if Crank That Frank is just like a thing, not a person, a human being, his friend, a long-time friend. The way he speaks is as if this is just like, I don't know, some spicy gossip or something. And I'm not at all surprised that both of these guys were in bits after this. It's ridiculous. Why would you think this is a good idea? After screwing over Jacqueline Glenn in the most horrible way possible, and then going as far as blaming her for getting attached to you too quickly. Oh, she likes you too much. What a problem. What an idiot. It's totally her fault. And then Social Repose would say, that everyone warned her, so you shouldn't have got with me because people warned you about me. No, you idiot. That is such a cop-out of an argument. Christ. So, he goes on to explain how Crank That Frank seems to like a lot of the bands that his fans like, and gets into them just because his fans like the bands and not because he actually likes them.
And obviously, if you are familiar at all with Frank's content, he takes the superfan and he is the embodiment of it. He is the superfan.
Which way is east?
East is up.
And like I said, that's fine. Until I start seeing patterns in his behavior that make me feel like it's more a ploy in audience pandering and to try to seem relevant to his viewers or to find things to relate to with his viewers as opposed to actually being head over heels for these bands.
So, this is very important about this video. Social Repose is just saying stuff. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know these things at all. There is no backing to anything he's saying in the whole video. How do you know that he likes them just because his fans do? What if the fan suggests a band, Crank That Frank listens to the band, and then, wow, what a surprise, he actually likes them because he listened to them. So I do not get why he's saying this stuff and why he's being so needlessly cruel to a friend. It would be a little bit different if he was talking about just some random channel. It would just be like, oh, it's just a crappy commentary video. But this is an old friend. This is not a good thing to do. No wonder people call you a sociopath. No wonder you've alienated everyone in your life. So he talks about Dan and Phil and how Crank That Frank would always talk about Dan and Phil on his channel, but then it came to a point where he just suddenly stopped talking about them, and apparently Crank That Frank said he doesn't talk about them anymore because he met them in person and he thought doing videos on them after that would be a bit weird.
Dan and Phil just kind of vanished from his channel. He kind of scrubbed their name what felt like overnight, but it could have been a slower phase, but it felt like overnight. And that seemed kind of weird. So I remember asking him a long time ago, whatever happened to that? I remember it was like, hey, what happened to Dan and Phil? What's the deal with that? You were such a big fan. And he pretty much replied saying, well, I met them, so making videos about them after that would seem kind of weird.
Which is a absolutely valid reason, but then Social Repose, for whatever reason, decides that that's not good enough and says, oh, I think it's just because you got bored of them and couldn't be bothered anymore. It's like, what? You don't know that. You can't just make a video saying all this stuff about an old friend when you have no backing for this. It's insane. It's insane. So the whole video really does go on like this. He then goes on to talk about how Crank That Frank would, only listen to bands that are popular and relevant, and he's going through an emo phase apparently, so he would be a bit of a fanboy to all of these artists just because they're big. But you can't say that either. Why? How is that a point? How is that even a point? That he listens to popular bands that for some reason Social Repose thinks he only listens to them because they're popular. How do you know he does that? You don't. You don't know any of what you're saying. You're just doing it to claw at relevancy, but you're going to follow Onision's trend of thinking it will gain you relevancy, but in fact it actually pushes you further away. Yes, you may gain quite a few views, but you'll lose a load of subs. Next, let's take a look at one of his recent songs, which makes me want to be sick all over the floor. Ugh. The song is called Alright, I Need Help, and it is such an edgy and ridiculous song. It's a hip-hop track as well. His flow is all over the place, by the way. I may not be that great at writing hip-hop lyrics, but I think my flow's okay. His is all over the place. There's barely a rhyming structure, which is fine. You don't need to have a rhyming structure. But let's take a look at some of these lyrics. Again, with this song, there's just over 50% like ratio, so it's like 40% dislikes. Starts off by saying, I can write a hook that's okay. I lost all my friends, I'll just buy some new ones. Yeah, I need help, but not the kind of help that comes from a doctor or a misguided youth saying they love me, but the kind of help that gives me hope for the future, hope to put a smile on when I truly want to die. Oh my god. What? Is this a joke? Is this a joke? This has to be a joke, right? Because this. We'll get further through this song, but you'll see that this is his idea of depression. But for anyone that's ever been through depression, this isn't it. This isn't what depression is. It's just an idea of depression. It's ridiculous. It goes into, I blame myself, I blame my actions, I blame my resistance to improve. Yeah, the views have gone down, and the easy way out would be to point at my wrongdoings and public perception. But the reality is that I'm uninspired. I don't give a shit about what I'm doing anymore, and suddenly a desk job seems so appealing because maybe I wouldn't want to die all the time unless a little stability goes along. You know what? This is so stupid. But that's just my brand, right? Selling you my depression. Why don't you just do it already, you pussy? We'll buy another t-shirt. It might be worth more when I'm gone. Oh no. This is... No. And they say I'm irrelevant. But if I'm a nobody and my opinions don't matter, then why make a reaction video when I get under your skin? Is it really that thin? No, it's because you're a terrible person and I love talking about terrible people. It's coming up on a year, and yeah, you got your revenge, but to assume everything leads back to you, I'm sorry, it's not that deep. And to say I'm just mad that all my friends left me, well yeah, that hurt. I'm sure it did hurt. You deserved it, you moron. But it's not the fact they left, more that they were never really there to start. As we can see with the Crank That Frank video, what makes you say that? Is that just some random stuff you just said? Because I don't know. Just a bunch of hollow husks that are only there for the numbers. Wow! Wow! You're just literally sitting here saying that your friends are a bunch of hollow husks that are only there for the numbers. What do you think you're going to achieve by saying stuff like that? And they can keep telling themselves I'm a shitty person, but real friends don't give up so easily. You're 19, toughen up, this is all a game. I hate that I made you cry, but what's the price of fame? You might think I took aim at your name for my ex's pain, but the truth is I just thought your videos were effing lame, cause everyone's a brand, everyone's a message, can't we just be human, unafraid of emotion? So, an absolute pile of worthless drivel, well done for making one of the worst songs I've ever had to hear. Pretty impressive. So this is the thing with Social Repose's music. It's edgy, it's pretentious, it's vapid. At the end of the day, it's pointless, unnecessary, rude to people that you don't need to be rude to. So what was the point of this? Just saying, oh, I'm depressed, I need help, oh, I just want to die all the time. Sorry, mate, you don't have depression if you think this is depression. This is the most pathetic idea of depression I've ever seen. It's ridiculous. If we look at a comment, someone puts it very well. If you relate to this pest because you say you have depression, then you're definitely self-diagnosed. This is not depression, this is narcissism. Very well said, Aubrey Hagel. Some of these comments are brilliant, very well put. We have, attacks an innocent person for no reason but pettiness, gets called out for it. Oh my god, everyone hates me, why can't we all just be nice? Or misguided youth saying they love me. Geez, I know you're just writing how you feel, but your fans are the reason you make money. Very true, very true. Real friends don't give up that easily. Yeah, you were supposed to be Jacqueline's friend, right? Real friends don't sleep with multiple women behind the back of the person they're dating and only apologize when they're caught. You get what you give out. You can't expect to have friends that stick with you after you ruined their other friend when you so deeply betrayed someone you were supposed to love. Suicide is a serious problem, but I laugh whenever you bring it up, because to you it's just a way for you to be edgy and to manipulate those around you by threatening to off yourself. It's actually very offensive to people who do suffer from suicidal thoughts or tendencies, because when it's real, you don't go parading it around and talk about how it will help your merch sales. Brilliant. So, yeah, I mean, Social Repose is an idiot. He's a moron. He doesn't understand what depression is, and he pushes people away with his horrible content. He cheated on Jacqueline Glenn when he was with her. Jacqueline Glenn's a lovely person. I was horrified to hear that he'd done that. And when he went to apologise, he blamed her. Now that's insanity. That's absolute insanity. He's clearly an incredibly arrogant person, and people aren't taking it anymore, which is great. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say on the subject. What do you think of my new setup, by the way? I think it looks pretty good. I'm back to using my SLR as well, which is pretty sweet. So, thank you for joining me today, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me and my channel. Also, thank you to everyone who's checked out the Visage playthrough. Visage, not sure. I had a great time recording that, and it didn't get many views, but because of the response I got from it, I'm definitely going to be bringing out more episodes of that, because I love it. It's one of the best horror games I've played in a long time. So, Thank you so much, guys. I will see you in the next one. Take care now.